Good morning, Captain's League. I want to start with a big old hand clap congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Dana Gordon. Dana and Jane had their baby last night. I'm sure most of you already know this. At 6:05 in the morning. Just want to say congrats, Dana. We're all proud of you. We're all happy for you. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Couldn't ask for more, right? So let's hear it for Ian Matthew Gordon, everybody. Round of applause. Yay. Very psyched for them. He is the third member of the Captain's League children family after Jay Mateo and Charlotte from Jeff. Ian. There you go. And the rest of us got to get on the ball there a little bit. So anyway, it's a fine Tuesday morning to you. We had a great matchup that ended last night with Tom Brady, and we had another blowout this week that ended Sunday morning practically. We'll get down to business here. Let's start with the blowout. Jay and Jimmy. Jimmy didn't score points this week, to his dismay. 77 points he eclipsed, but there's nothing even close to Jay's 127 points. Jay, I'm not going to go back on my fact that he gets lucky every week. Got the highest output from a defense when he got 46 points this week from Seattle. Seattle's defense scored him 4. It is the highest point total for a defense this season. He got 32 points from Eli Manning. Calvin Johnson got him 12 points. Ben Jarvis Green-Ellis got him 9 points. The fact that his leading running back got him 9 points and he was still able to have such a blowout victory. Wow. I mean, he got 70 points from more than 70 points from his defense and his quarterback. So if you're looking at Jay, Joe and Jay will be playing up this week. Good luck, Joe. So anyway, Bracco and Ryan had their first round matchup. Ryan was the 4 seed to Bracco's number 5. And Ryan pulled out a squeaker on Monday night thanks to a great performance by Tom Brady. Tom Brady got him 39 points, which was 2 more points than Ryan actually needed since he won 111 to 109. I will be facing Ryan next week in the second round of these playoffs. And like I said on Facebook, Ryan, I am so thrilled to use you as my stepping stone into the championship game. Bracco would have had a shot if he picked up David Wilson, obviously to be handcuffed to Ahmad Bradshaw. Ahmad Bradshaw did little in this game against the Saints when David Wilson came in and scored 33 points with 2 touchdowns. One of them was a return touchdown. He also left Brandon Lloyd, Bracco did, on his bench, which got him 17.93 points, both of which would have been more than enough to propel him into the next round. With that said, we all know, for the wager we all had last night on Facebook, I was a very big fan of this. I love making a real-life event into a league event. So we all had Bracco's rules, closest to the time without going over. My interpretation was that time is a countdown, and as soon as your time came and went, you lost. Now, that's just my interpretation. It's up for interpretation now because the rules weren't clear enough, but I'm still willing to award the number 1 pick to the person that we vote this on. Bracco would be the closest based on overall time. He was 9 minutes away, but his time was before the time of birth for Mr. Ian Matthew Gordon. Jimmy had the next closest time, which was at 8 in the morning, but he didn't go over in my interpretation. So basically, however we're interpreting this rule, it's going to be Jimmy or Bracco as the number 1 pick in the draft next year. And I'm all about making more events to get your next choice of pick for those of you. Unfortunately, Michael and Adam did not vote on this. I think Michael at least was aware of it. Adam was in bed when this was all going down because he goes to bed at like 8:15 at night. He has his cup of green tea and, he watches some Matlock and then he hits the bed, his separate bed from his significant other because they sleep on separate beds now because, they're old people and that's what they do. Anyway, that joke tailed off there at the end. So anyway, next week's matchups, it's going to be Jimmy. Well, yeah, everyone's playing next week. This is a full week because the Sacco playoffs begin this week. I'm so excited for that as well. In the Sacco playoffs, it's going to be... Now, if you lose your next 2 games and you're in the Sacco playoffs, you are the Sacco. You will be getting awarded the Sacco Award, which we'll hand out with the trophy at the trophy ceremony. Michael plays Dana, and Jeff plays Adam. That's your first-round Sacco matchups. I gotta say, I don't like your chances, Jeff. I kind of think Jeff's going to go Sacco here. That's just a prediction. As far as the rest of it, Bracco and Jimmy will be playing for 5th place, and this will be their final matchup of the year. They'll be done after this week. And now to the big boys, the final 4. It'll be Joe versus Jay. Quite a little matchup here, I gotta say. Jay, again, getting lucky, has somebody just outperform the league every week. As far as projections go, and we don't know how accurate they can be, Joe is favored 118 to 107. It's been a tough year for tight ends, but they both have pretty good tight ends. Joe has Jason Witten, and Buffalo, or Jay, has Tony Gonzalez. Now, when it comes to running back, I got to give it to Joe. Joe has had the 3 best running back tandem all year. He has Frank Gore, Jamal Charles, and Adrian Peterson in his flex. If your flex is Adrian Peterson, you should have a bye. Unfortunately, though, Jay takes him in the wide receiver category because Jay has A.J. Green, Calvin Johnson, and Golden Tate, even though Golden Tate got 0.4 points for you last week, Jay. Joe has Cecil Shorts, Justin Blackmon, and Stevie Johnson. His receivers, he has 2 Jaguar receivers and a Buffalo Bill. Even Jay will tell you having a Buffalo Bill doesn't get you very far. Now, when it comes down to quarterback, Eli Manning, who's been sporadic at best, and Aaron Rodgers is Joe. Aaron Rodgers goes against Chicago in Chicago, but Eli Manning is also on the road against Atlanta. I think I give the edge to Jay there on the quarterback. When it comes down to flex, though, Joe still takes him with Adrian Peterson. Jay has Lance Moore, and Lance Moore is against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a really good pass defense. Running backs can go all over them, but receivers tend to not. When it comes to the defense, however, we're going to have to wait till Monday night because Joe has the Jets at Tennessee, where Jay has Seattle at Buffalo as the Sunday late game. Kickers, Phil Dawson for Jay, Connor Barth for Joe. I mean, what are you both going to get like 6-7 points out of them? So kickers aren't going to make a difference in this game. I think it's going to come down to Joe's defense on Monday night. He's going to have a stellar performance from that defense. I'd say 17 points from that defense would hopefully get him a victory. Jay has two players going on Thursday, and they're both Bengals, A.J. Green and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, and no one likes players going on Thursday, especially when it's your star players. It's just a short week. They are against Philadelphia, so we'll see how that goes for them. Now for the preview of Ryan Gillerin and me. Ryan, I gotta say, I had money on the Patriots last night, and I didn't realize. I thought you were done. I did. I thought the matchups were set. I thought it was me versus Bracco. And when I saw Tom Brady throwing all those touchdowns in the first half, I said, wait a second. Ryan has a shot here. So I ended up, vicariously, because of my bet with somebody else, I was rooting for Ryan. Not on purpose. I wasn't trying to root against Bracco. I honestly didn't care who I played. I thought they'd both be good matchups for me. But I gotta say, with Ryan, I have a classic Peyton Manning, Tom Brady playoff game. R&D's always great. Now, Peyton Manning's only won like one of them in real life. We have 2 quarterbacks going against 2 pretty good defenses. His Tom Brady is home against San Francisco on Sunday night. Now, the part that I don't like for myself, but Ryan should like for him, is it's a primetime game. And the going against the 49ers shouldn't matter too much because Tom Brady in primetime is well, kind of like Joe Montana all the time. Peyton Manning is on the road in Baltimore Sunday for the 1 o'clock game. So I have a feeling that even though Peyton Manning, and I wouldn't bench him for anybody else right now, he might get outscored by Tom Brady simply on the facts of the game. Both defenses are good, and I think San Francisco is going to be tougher for Tom Brady than Baltimore is going to be for Peyton Manning. But it's gonna come down to our quarterback play because receiver wise, I have Roddy White home against the Giants, Demaryius Thomas also in Baltimore, and Randall Cobb in Chicago. That's gonna be a wild card because he has Reggie Wayne in Houston Julio Jones is home against the Giants, so we both have the Falcons receivers, and he has Steve Smith and San Diego. San Diego's defense has been picking it up a bit, at least against wide receivers, and even though they're not a great defense fantasy-wise, they are doing well enough to keep teams from throwing all over them. Running back-wise, I have Trent Richardson and Alfred Morris. Both are playing each other in Cleveland. And then he has Matt Forte and Reggie Bush. Matt Forte is against the Packers, a team who isn't great at stopping anybody. And he has Reggie Bush home against Jacksonville. And even though Reggie Bush has been also sporadic at best this year, it is against Jacksonville, and that bodes well for Ryan. As far as tight ends go, since I lost Gronkowski to injury, which is a huge, huge blow this time of the year, I was still able to pick up Aaron Hernandez, who last night did score a touchdown. So they are looking at Hernandez. He is healthy as far as I know. Before I read further, you know, it's the Patriots and things could change with Belichick. But he has Owen Daniels, another great tight end, going against Indianapolis. So I will say this. I don't know if it's made a difference at all, but it has been a very tough year for tight ends this year. And right now, if you were to rank 4 of the tight ends, they are all in the playoffs still. So having a good tight end has definitely made a difference. In the flex position, he has Jonathan Dwyer. Could go off for 2 touchdowns, could get stuck with 30 yards rushing. You don't know. It's the Sunday late game at Dallas for Pittsburgh. Dallas is pretty decent at stopping the run. But I have Bryce Brown on Thursday night. And although he was super Bryce Brown 2 weeks ago, he has last week he did not do very much at all. But he's playing Thursday night against Cincinnati, who's a decent run defense, so I have a decision to make in my flex as well. When it comes to kickers, right now I have Shane Graham home against Indianapolis. That's the Houston kicker, and he has Adam Vinatieri, the Indianapolis kicker, away in Houston. So we have our kickers going against each other in that very game. That's a Sunday 1 o'clock start. And the defense matchup, I have Arizona against Detroit. That's a home game for them. And he has Miami against Jacksonville. I would have to give him the slight advantage there based on the fact that he's playing Jacksonville. But hey, Chad Henne to Cecil Shorts, if Cecil Shorts is healthy, could definitely not do well for that Miami defense. So anyway, there's our matchup in depth. Prediction? Well, how do I not predict myself? I think it's me versus Joe. I think Joe does pull it out over Jay this week. I think Jay's going to be hampered by those Thursday night starts. That's just my Tuesday prediction on the whole thing. I don't like having Bryce Brown on Thursday, but we'll see what ends up by then. So until then, guys, I'll sign off here saying congrats again to Dana and Jane on Mr. Little Ian Matthew Gordon, IMG. And hey guys, take care, and I'll talk to you all soon. Ryan, I'm coming for you, Ryan.